In the hallways of American high school, Fatima Nazari balances her devout Muslim faith with the pressure to fit in, while her hard-working parents struggle to make ends meet. When a single moment of prayer turns her emerald green hijab into a target, silent stares become something far more dangerous. With courage found in unexpected allies, Fatima must challenge an entire school to see beyond what divides them, before the damage can never be undone. Part 1. The Prayer. Fatima Nazari kept her eyes closed, the weight of 27 stares burning into her back as she knelt in the corner of Miss Peterson's classroom. The bell for lunch had rung 3 minutes ago, but Fatima hadn't moved. It was Dur, midday prayer, and she had promised her grandmother she wouldn't miss it again, not after what happened at home last night. "What's she doing?" The whisper cut through the silence, sharp as glass. Fatima's hands trembled slightly as she continued her prayer, the familiar Arabic phrases repeating in her mind like a shield. "Just 30 more seconds," she told herself. "Just 30 more seconds and I can—" The cold metal of scissors brushed against her neck. "Let's see what happens if we give this thing a little trim," said Tyler Matthews, the unmistakable smirk in his voice sending ice through Fatima's veins. The classroom door swung open. Miss Peterson's voice cracked like thunder. "What is going on in here?" Fatima's eyes flew open. She turned to see Tyler frozen, scissors still hovering near her hijab, his face draining of color. Behind him, a cluster of students stood with phones raised, some already recording. "I was just—" Tyler began. "My office." "Now, Miss—" Peterson's voice left no room for argument. As Tyler slunk toward the door, she turned to the others. "Everyone else, lunch. Immediately." The students scattered, leaving only Fatima and Miss Peterson in the suddenly silent classroom. "Are you all right, Miss?" Peterson asked, her voice gentler now. Fatima nodded, though her heart hammered against her ribs. She hadn't finished her prayer. Grandmother would be disappointed. And tomorrow? How could she face them all tomorrow? "Would you like to call your parents?" Fatima shook her head. They're both working. Her father's second job meant he wouldn't be home until after midnight. Her mother was pulling a double shift at the hospital. "I'm fine." But as she gathered her belongings, a small piece of green fabric fluttered to the floor, a severed corner of her hijab she hadn't noticed until now. Part 2. The Aftermath. The cafeteria fell silent when Fatima entered. She clutched her lunch bag tighter, scanning the room for a friendly face. There was none. Instead, she found curious stares, whispers behind hands, and a few outright glares. Her usual table was occupied by Tyler's friends, who watched her with challenging smiles. The message was clear. Don't even think about it. Fatima spotted an empty table in the corner and made her way there, ignoring the occasional snickers. As she sat down, she carefully adjusted her hijab, using a small safety pin to secure the cut portion. She had considered wearing a different one this morning, but decided against it. Running away wasn't the answer. "Can I sit here?" Fatima looked up to find Zoe Chen standing with her lunch tray, an uncertain smile on her face. They shared 3 classes but had rarely spoken before. "Sure," Fatima said, surprised. Zoe slid onto the bench across from her. "What Tyler did was messed up." Fatima nodded, not trusting her voice. "I saw the videos," Zoe continued. "Some people already posted them online." Fatima's stomach dropped. "Videos?" "Yeah, like 3 different angles," Zoe said, pulling out her phone. "This one has over 200 comments already." The screen showed Fatima kneeling in prayer, then Tyler approaching with the scissors. The video cut off just as the classroom door opened. The comments below ranged from cruel jokes to outright hatred, with only a few defending her. "My parents are going to see this," Fatima whispered, her appetite vanishing. Her father had been reluctant to let her attend public school in the first place. If he saw these videos— "Hey," Zoe said, putting her phone away. "Some of us are meeting after school to talk about what happened. You should come." Before Fatima could respond, a shadow fell across their table. Principal Hargrove stood there, his expression grave. "Miss Nazari, your presence is requested in my office." Part 3. The decision Principal Hargrove's office felt too small for the number of people crammed inside. Fatima sat between her parents, who had been called away from work despite her protests. Across from them, Tyler slouched in his chair, his mother's hand resting protectively on his shoulder. "We've reviewed the footage," Principal Hargrove said, folding his hands on the desk, "and spoken with several witnesses. The evidence clearly shows Tyler attempting to cut Miss Nazari's hijab while she was engaged in prayer." "It was just a joke," Tyler muttered. "A joke?" Fatima's father's voice was dangerously quiet. You think assaulting my daughter is funny? No one was assaulted, Tyler's mother cut in. Boys will be boys, and frankly, if your daughter insists on these public displays, Mrs. Matthews, Principal Hargrove interrupted, religious expression is protected. What isn't protected is harassment and physical intimidation. Outside the office, Fatima could see students gathered, pretending not to watch through the glass partition. News had spread quickly. She caught sight of Zoe among them, giving her an encouraging nod. I'm suspending Tyler for 2 weeks, Principal Hargrove continued, and requiring him to complete community service with the Cultural Awareness Club. That's excessive, Mrs. Matthews protested. The alternative is involving the police, Fatima's mother said, speaking for the first time. This could be classified as a hate crime. The word hate hung in the air, heavy and undeniable. I've also arranged for a school assembly tomorrow, Principal Hargrove added, to address religious tolerance and respect. And what about my daughter's safety when she returns? Fatima's father asked. Principal Hargrove hesitated. We'll do everything we can to ensure— I want to speak, Fatima said suddenly. All eyes turned to her. At the assembly, she clarified. I want to speak. Her parents exchanged worried glances. Fatima, you don't have to, her mother began. I want to, Fatima insisted. If I don't, they'll never understand. Tyler looked at her for the first time, confusion replacing his earlier defiance. Very well, Principal Hargrove said. If you're certain. As they left the office, Fatima noticed several students quickly dispersing, pretending they hadn't been watching. But Zoe remained, giving her a thumbs up through the glass. Tomorrow, she mouthed silently. Fatima nodded. Tomorrow would be different. Part 4. The Assembly. The auditorium buzzed with conversation as Fatima stood backstage, heart racing. Through a gap in the curtains, she could see hundreds of students filling the seats, some curious, others bored, a few hostile. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her memory. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Principal Hargrove was at the podium now, explaining why they'd been gathered. He spoke about respect and tolerance, words that seemed to float over the audience without landing. And now, he said, I'd like to introduce someone who has shown remarkable courage. Please welcome Fatima Nazari. The applause was scattered, uncertain. Fatima took a deep breath and walked onto the stage. The lights were bright, making it difficult to see faces, but she knew they were all watching. Her prepared speech felt suddenly inadequate. Instead, she reached up and slowly removed her safety pin, revealing the severed edge of her hijab. Yesterday, she began, her voice surprisingly steady, I was praying in our classroom when someone tried to cut my hijab. Many of you saw it happen. Some recorded it. Others laughed. The auditorium was silent now. You might wonder why I pray at school, why I wear this. She touched her hijab gently. It's the same reason some of you wear crosses or stars of David or any symbol of your faith. It's who I am. She spotted Zoe in the third row, nodding encouragingly. I don't expect everyone to understand, but I do expect to be treated with the same respect I give to others. My grandmother taught me that true strength isn't in how you treat your friends, but in how you treat those who are different from you. She paused, scanning the audience until she found Tyler, sitting between his parents near the back. I forgive the person who did this, she said clearly. Not because what happened was okay, but because holding on to anger only hurts me more. I invite anyone who wants to learn about my faith, or any faith different from yours, to join the Cultural Awareness Club. We meet Thursdays after school. The silence that followed her final words stretched for a moment before a single person began to clap. Zoe. Then another joined, and another, until the applause spread across the auditorium like a wave. As Fatima left the stage, she noticed something she hadn't seen before. In the very back row sat her grandmother, who had insisted on coming to support her. Beside her was Miss Peterson, and between them, surprisingly, was Tyler's father, clapping slowly but deliberately. That afternoon, the Cultural Awareness Club meeting had to be moved to the cafeteria to accommodate the unexpected crowd. Fatima stood at the entrance, greeting each person who came, including a hesitant Tyler who couldn't quite meet her eyes but had come nonetheless. Nice speech, Zoe said, appearing at her side. Fatima smiled. Nice, friend, she replied, realizing that sometimes strength came not just from within, but from those brave enough to stand beside you when it mattered most. Enjoying our stories? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of our upcoming content.